we have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. It's proof that despite the naysayers, we can make meaningful progress on dealing with gun violence. Because make no mistake, sit down, you'll hear what I have to say. You think you fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden!
You better watch your back, because I'm fucking up your program. So let's get into this. Now, this was what we saw this morning. Now, I've got it kind of as a slideshow, but you can see we got a C-17, which is that Reach aircraft, the big one up to the top left. And then we had a little SAM flight right behind it. And behind the SAM flight actually took the exact same track as the Doomsday Bird, right, which is the 747-200. That often gets confused as Air Force One. It's not. It's a little different paint color, but it is a 747-200. But notice that one's rolling into Miami. You got the SAM flight coming down directly behind it. All three of these came out of Washington, D.C., and then if we get into, you can see actually, this is the video of them actually landing. Doomsday Bird's already down on the ground, front right corner. And then that C-17 rolls in there directly behind it, parks right beside it. And then that little SAM flight, for some reason, it just kind of locked up on Open ADS-B exchange. But that is what we're looking at there. It's a little G5. It's a very nice aircraft. All right, but they all three rolled into Miami, one right behind the other, coming hot out of D.C. None of them have any kind of call sign other than the SAM deal. But what's interesting about that Reach aircraft, given that it is a C-17, that is a large transport, very typical for those to come in and be carrying a motorcade and or some kind of security detail, right? But that's what makes this thing interesting, is that this is a C-17. For those not familiar with it, it is called a Globemaster, but it is a workhorse, right? This plane, just so you know, it typically does carry the motorcade, right? So to see these three airplanes come in unannounced into Miami and park on the tarmac is interesting. Now remember, Trump is just probably 40 minutes north from Miami, maybe not even that, 30 minutes. If you flew him in on a helicopter, it'd be like maybe a 10-minute flight at best. But there's that SAM Bird coming in right behind it. But again, don't know what's going on. Now remember, Flashbang has got the big CV-19er, and he is out of pocket. Bob Marley is in Indiana, and whoever this is that flew down into Miami, don't know. But it's not tied to like the National Convention, Democratic National Convention, or the police force stuff. That all seems to be in Orlando. So now I do know that Flashbang is actually going to be talking to them. We'll look at his schedule here in just a minute. But interesting thing. Now this is the other piece. Let me see if we've got, as we talk about those, there is... well, currently there are two P8s we don't have on now.
I'm sorry, Evander. It's your ear.
My ear.
I kept that in formaldehyde. Thanks.
Yeah. So this just happened. Local news here in Michigan decided to post the primary results for the primary that's not even until next week on August 2nd. Now we need to ask ourselves, why do they want Tudor Dixon in there so bad? When anybody who lives in the state of Michigan knows for a damn fact, Ryan Kelly has the most support. Definitely fraud. Massive fraud.